Hi, Jeff here. I just wanted to jump on quickly because I've had a few clients reach out over the past week with concerns about what's happening globally, the talk of fuel shortages, and what this could possibly mean for their construction. Remember, the media's job is to shock us and fear us into reading a lot of untrue information. And look, those concerns are completely understandable. There's a lot in the media right now, and a lot of it's focused on worst case scenarios. Think just back to our COVID days, and the media and some property commentators were telling us property prices were going to drop down by 40% when these same people were not selling their own homes. So I just wanted to give you a clear, fact-based update on what we're actually seeing here on the ground. First of all, the big concern people have is whether their builds will stop altogether due to fuel or supply issues. At this stage, there is no indication of that. Again, in COVID times, essential services were the priority and construction carried on, with some time and cost increases, of course. Then property prices and rents increased strongly. Now, one of the most important points that's come out of recent industry commentary is this: the real risk right now isn't whether you can build, it's choosing the right builder. This is exactly why we've always taken a very different approach. We only work with large, established wholesale builders. These are companies that have strong buying power, forward contracts in place for materials, and the financial reserves to manage through these periods. I've personally spoken with a number of these builders recently, and they're confident in their ability to continue delivering projects. So from our perspective, builds are still moving forward, but it's also important to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Australia is still in a significant housing shortage. Vacancy rates are extremely low, and demand for housing hasn't gone anywhere. If anything, more people will decide to delay building right now. That reduces future supply even further. And what we've consistently seen over time is that when supply drops and demand remains strong, prices tend to rise. So the risk of waiting is that when things stabilise, you're potentially facing higher build costs, higher property prices, and even more competition. We saw this exact pattern play out through COVID. There was uncertainty, some people paused, and then costs increased significantly afterwards. The other thing I'd say is this: there are ways to manage risk in this environment, things like having a sensible buffer in your budget, understanding how your contract handles variations, and most importantly, working with the right builders. That's where we spend a lot of our time, making sure our clients are in a position where these risks are minimised as much as humanly possible. So overall, yes, there may be some short-term noise, but the long-term fundamentals of property in Australia haven't changed. We're continuing to move forward with builds, we're staying in close contact with these builders, and we're monitoring the situation closely. And as always, our priority is making sure you're making the right decisions based on your individual situation. If you do have any concerns or you're unsure about your build, just reach out and we can talk it through. I hope that helps, and I'll speak to you soon.